Welcome to Quick Coach. I'm Jamie Young. After we share World Ventures with our friends, almost always we get the dreaded question, the life or death question, the one that's so scary if we don't know how to answer it effectively, we might not even share World Ventures. The presentation's over and they ask, how's it going for you? Until I learned how to strongly answer that question, I didn't get the results I wanted. Let's change that for you and your team right now. It's called your story or your testimony. Before I share with you the parts you need to create your story, let me remind you what a success story is not. This is not to have you represent, resell, or tell them to join. Facts tell, but stories sell. Solid success stories are probably more important than the presentation. When our friends hear from us and people they can relate to, it makes them feel more comfortable to get started. Now grab pen and paper. It's best if you can write your story down and say it a few times. By the way, we need you to share your story in 30 seconds. Yes, 30 seconds. They're already overwhelmed by a bunch of information. We need to be direct and to the point. There are 3 parts to a powerful story. 1, before World Ventures. 2, you got started with World Ventures. And 3, how World Ventures has positively impacted your life. Typically, this is where we crash and burn. We jump straight to part 3 and or start representing. Even if you think your friend already knows about your situation, it's critical to remind our friends that we're just like them, that we have the same fears, concerns, doubts, hopes, dreams, and aspirations. In reality, most of us wear a big smile on our face and act like everything's perfect in front of our friends. We must be authentic and vulnerable here. So part 1, before World Ventures. This is how we establish we're just like them. You want to state your background, so that could include your education level, your job or career, sometimes your age, your family situation, like if you have kids, etc. And then your limiting belief or struggle. So that could be like, I always wanted to travel, but I never thought I could afford it. Or my income has dropped and the bills keep stacking up. Or I've always been skeptical of things like this, but I trusted my friend. Or I was a little nervous because I'd never done anything like this before. So again, your background and then your limiting belief or struggle. Part 2 is that you got started with World Ventures. And this is where we're going to indirectly tell them how and to get started with World Ventures. So I joined with both products and I plugged in the training. Or I joined with both products and I took a dream trip. Part 3, how World Ventures has positively impacted your life. And this doesn't need to be like, I'm making $10,000 a month. And actually, unless you've handed out income disclosure statements, you cannot mention specific income you're making. And we can never talk about anyone else's income, only our own, if the income disclosure statement has been handed out. So great topics are how amazing your dream trip was, a business story, or training. Like, because of the training, within my first week, I earned more than it cost to get started. And now World Ventures is thanking me by waiving my monthly fees. Or lifestyle, like now I've got more time to spend with my kids. Then wrap it all up by saying, I'm so glad my friend introduced me to World Ventures, all while smiling. Remember to do this in 30 seconds, and you can as long as you only talk about the points mentioned. So quick recap, your background, your limiting belief or struggle, I joined both products and plugged into the training, then your positive results and thanks. So there you go. Practice your story a few times to yourself, and next time your friend asks you, so how's it going for you? Instead of being nervous, you'll be thinking, I'm so glad you asked. Take a deep breath, make sure you have fun, and smile while you're sharing your story. You'll do great. That was only a couple minutes of coaching. Imagine learning from our head coaches for 2 days, January 21st through 23rd, 2011 in Las Vegas at Momentum. It's a new year and the game is changing. Register today and get in the game.